Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Srinivasa Biology Tutorials. For this session to discuss NCERT Class 12 Chapter 4 Principles of Inheritance Part 5 Inheritance of One Gene. See, the Mendel also worked with and the cross of the pea plants that is differentiated into as in the characters and the seen cross between as a pea plant that has the seed with a yellow color and a round shape, and one has the seed the green color and within a sprinkled seed. So Mendel now here selected as an A, there are two genes. Here Mendel selected as an A, there are two genes. Here means here Mendel selected two genes that each there are the two dominant characters, and completely two recessive parents. One is to the dominant, two is in completely that recessive parents. Let us see they are completely here Mendel selected as two pairs of characters. How many pairs? Two pairs of characters. That is in a round, wrinkled, yellow, green. That is in a yellow and green. So these are complete two dominants. These two are completely called as in a recessive parents. So here Mendel selected as in a completely two traits. Mendel found that seeds resulting the formation of crossing of the parents, he yellow colored and round sheets he was first noticed. So first he get crossed in these characters, he get as what they get as in a round as well as in a wrinkled and then yellow and then green seeds as he getting. You can tell which of the characters pairs of yellow green color the wrinkled shape was dominant. So already we know that here round is the dominant, yellow is the dominant, and here wrinkled and green they are completely called as what? That are recessive parents. Okay, let us. Thus yellow color was the dominant over the green color, and round shape is the dominant over the wrinkled. So that one I said here the completely yellow is the dominant, green is a recessive, round is a dominant, and then wrinkled is the recessive parent. Okay, and then after when you see that in a typical here in the typical these are the results that determine that you need to gather when the made up of the separate monohybrid cross between the yellow and green the seed plants between that in a round wrinkled seed plant. So when he crossed with then these both characters in the letters the genotypic the symbols capital Y and yellow seeds color the small y, and recessive green is colored as any there. Here dominant is completely what the complete dominant is yellow, that is we denote as in capital Y, and here the green that we denote as in what? That is in a the small y, that is in a recessive parent. Okay, and R is round shape and small r is in a wrinkled. So here in a completely R is in what? That is in a round, and their wrinkled means that is in a small r. So these are the four characters. They completely, how many characters? They are four characters. So the genotypic parents can be right the capital R and capital Y small r in a small y. Am I right? Let us. After in these the cross between the two parents can be the write down the figure 4.7. They show the genotypic parent the gametes capital R capital Y small y until the fertilization produces the F1 generation, that is in a capital R small r capital Y small y. The getting as in capital R capital Y small y. It is in what? It is a process of in the first F1 generation. It is completely called as what? That is in a F1 generation. The Mendel self hybrids the F1 plants. He get as in a the 3/4 of the F2 has in yellow seeds and 1/4 has in green. So here 1/4 has in completely yellow seeds, and there 1/4 has in that another green seed also he get. Okay, let us. The Mendel has green color segregated. The ratio is getting as in 3:1. So that F1 generation you get as in what? In a 3:1 ratio is getting, and round wrinkle seed shape also segregate as in a 3:1 ratio, just look like as in a monohybrid cross. So the F1 generation almost be getting as what? How is the process of the in a the monohybrid cross. Okay, that shows as a 3:1 ratio. Let us see here capital, capital, capital Y, capital Y. So the gametes are what? That is in a capital R, capital Y. Wrinkle green means smaller, smaller, small y, small y. So that gametes are what? The gametes are completely, they are smaller, smaller, and then small y they are getting. And the F1 generation is getting as what? Capital R, smaller, capital Y, small y is in a F1 generation. And here in that F1 generation after he get as an that F2 generation. So after the selfing of these characters, he getting as a completely how many characters? He getting as a completely the 16 characters. He getting as in a completely the 16 characters are getting. So they are completely round, round, yellow, yellow, and round, green, yellow, yellow, round, green, yellow, yellow. Okay, like. And next to here green, green, yellow, yellow, and these are the round, round, yellow, green, round, round, yellow, green, and these are completely called as a what? It is a round, wrinkle, yellow, green, and after in these two, after in this character, this character, there is a wrinkled, wrinkled, yellow, green, and wrinkled, wrinkled, yellow, green, and it is in a round, round, yellow, sorry, green, green, and in these two characters are completely they are round, wrinkled, green, green, round, wrinkled, green, green. Last one is what? This character is completely they are wrinkled, wrinkled, green, green characters are getting in that F2 generation. Okay, let us. The result that I have cross where the two parents differentiated two pairs, the contracting traits, the seed color and the seed shape. Let us see them. Okay, next. After let us observe to as any that law of independent assortment. Let us discuss as what? Law of independent assortment. See, in that law of independent assortment, the dihybrid cross, the phenotypic, the round yellow wrinkled here first, they are round yellow and wrinkled yellow and round green and wrinkled green. They completely appears. The characters are how many? They completely means first they are round, round, yellow, yellow, and here when you observe here mostly, the first he is saying about as in a the round character and yellow character. How many characters are present? There are 9 characters, and then they are wrinkled and yellow. That is in a wrinkled and then yellow characters he gets you as in a 3, and round and green characters they are completely 3, and wrinkled and the green character only 1 character is present. So it shows and this is a phenotypic ratio. It shows what? This is in a phenotypic ratio. It is in a phenotypic ratio. Okay, the ratio of the 9:3:1 can be the derived combination of the series of the 3 yellow, 1 green, and with as in a 3 round, 1 wrinkled. The derivation can be right. The given follows. The given as a derivative also in that process. Let us see that in derivative. Let us in the dihybrid cross. In the dihybrid cross, let us see that in a the 3 rounds and 1 wrinkled and 3 yellow, 1 green. The total how many characters? The 9 round yellows and 3 wrinkled yellows, 3 round and green, 1 wrinkled green are there noticed. Like that is in a the dihybrid cross, that phenotypic ratio, that is what? 9:3:3:1. That is in a 9:3:3:1. Okay, based upon the such as observation of the dihybrid cross. Let us see that in a dihybrid cross, the cross between the parent defect there differentiating 2 traits, the Mendel proposed as in a second set of the in a generalization that will be the can be Mendel law, the independent assortment. So that each and every character they are independent, they get completely independent. That is the Mendel easily there explained. That is nowadays we are calling as any what? In law of independent assortment. The law state that when the two pairs, the traits combined with an hybrid, the segregation of the one pair, the characters is the independent of the other age character. So when your characters get crossed, for example, here you take as a capital or small or capital Y, that is a small y. These characters are independently. The characters are completely there independently. There he's saying. Okay, let us be that any the Punnett square can be there effectively there to get understanding that an independent segregation of the two pairs of the genes during the meiosis in a production of the egg and pollen to be in the F1 generation, that is in a capital or small or capital Y, small y. So when you take as in that in a first F1 generation, that is a capital or in a capital Y, small or in a small y. So here these are completely called as in that is in a that male gametes, means that is in a pollen grains. This is in a what? This is in a pollen grains, and these are completely called as what? This is in a egg cells. These are the egg cell. So in that first character, you getting as in a F1 generation, getting as in a F1 generation capital or capital Y, small y characters. Okay, the considered with as in the segregation of the one pair, that genes they are completely capital or smaller. So here that capital R and smaller they show as in the completely only for that initiate shape. And 50% of the gametes they have in the capital R and another 50% are in a smaller. See here it is in a 50%, it is also they have in a 50%. So capital R in a the 50%, and then here smaller also has in a that is in completely 50%. Okay, let us now the based on the gametes having that in capital or smaller and should be having the capital Y, small y also. Here how do you give as in that capital or smaller as well as in the capital Y, small y also they get produced. The important thing as in remembers it in segregation of the 50% of any capital R and 50% as in a smaller. Then only we discuss that one. There is a 50% of the capital R means the round characters and the 50% of the recessive parents we are seeing. Okay, and after in this independent from as a segregation of the 50% of the capital Y, the 50% of the small y. So in that process, when you getting as in 50% of the yellow and in 50% of the completely their green plant, the green color will be there noticed. Okay, and therefore the 50% of the capital, the smaller gametes, they are has in a Y has in that 50% of the small y. The similarly the 50% of the capital or they are bearing gametes, the Y and the 50% of in a small y. So that one only we are discussing. The 50% we are completely we are getting in that first in that F1 generation. Okay, thus there are then genotypic gametes that 4 types of the pollen grains, the 4 types of egg cells are getting. Yes or no? We are completely getting as in 4 types of the gametes, 4 types of the means egg cells are there coming. Okay, that is what that is in a capital or in a capital Y, and then capital or small y, and small or capital Y and small r in a small y. So there are how many types? They completely we are getting as in a 4 types of gametes are getting. There are 4 types of gametes are they getting. Each the frequently we observe to as in 25% of the 1/4 of the total gametes that produce. So here when you get taking as this 4 gametes as present, in these 4 gametes they complete they are forming how much is a 25%, it is also 25%, it is also 25%, it is also in a completely in a 25%. So the 25%, 25%, the entire the gametes are they are forming here within the process. Okay, here when you write down the 4 types of eggs and pollen, the 2 sides of the Punnett squares, and very easy to derive in a composition of the zygote to give as in a the F2 generation. So already we seen that in a before in this Punnett square in that F2 generation, when you see as in the completely in that F2 generation, we noticed here already. See in that right column and the left column we taken that in a gametes and the egg cells we did as in that enter the pollination. Okay, let us after here that gives rise to the next although as in that 16 squares, the how many the different types of genotypes phenotypes are there formed now within the down the get given the flow chart. So here they given as a phenotypic ratio, you can using the Punnett square the data worked as a genotypic ratio that you have to stages the fill the format given in the genotypic ratio in that according to as in a 9:3:3:1. So already you know that what that completely here the phenotypic ratio in that except the phenotypes in that what that is already 9:3:3 the 3:2 1 already they given. Yes, no? And the genotypic ratio when you observe as in a in that dihybrid cross, that is in a 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 4 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1. Yes, na? This is in a completely dihybrid cross. Later once up they check the any gametes. Total 16 gametes, na? So 3 completely 5, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15 and 16. So the totally we getting as in how many gametes? 16 gametes are coming. Okay, this is in a completely what is the process of in a dihybrid cross. Okay, let us this is in a completely the dihybrid cross. Okay, remaining to discuss in next class. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe.